It was it was once said by Thomas Dyer, the world is a great mirror. it, it reflects back to you what you are. That is opposite when considering Joe Biden's statement. You know, uh, Donald Trump was the first racist president. Thus, for argument's sake, I'll agree. However, the question arises: why is he so comfortable claiming such notion? When you look in the mirror, you see yourself, much like a clan member could recognize a fellow clan member. Therefore, when when Biden looks at Trump, he believes he's staring at a mirror image. So when Biden makes such silly notions, such silly statement, um, he does so with his self in mind. I mean, since with segregationists, he created the Biden-Thurmond bill that imprisoned more black men than slavery. And he and another racist authored the anti-busing busing bill that would that would that would disregard the 1954, I believe it is, could be 54, 55 Supreme Court decision of Brown v. Board of education. Joe Biden calls Trump a racist because, as you know, the wolf can spot a wolf. There are a few theories that are applicable to analyze this presidential ticket. However, the game theory is fitting, at least in my eyes. Both incumbent and challenger are playing a two-stage game. See, Trump opines milestones of his presidency, whilst Biden declares Trump's racist proclamations. Additionally, since Biden's sub-game appears to be the latter and blame placing for COVID on Donald Trump, Biden will lose if he fails to implement a platform, a presidential plan. Furthermore, when applying the prisoner's dilemma, it it is safe to say Biden is banking on the fact that being the one to call out the other's racism first will keep the political pendulum in his adulation. Therefore, notwithstanding Joe Biden's past, his segregation crusade has and will continue to fall on deaf ears. Now, keep in mind, my contention is not that one is and the other is not a racist or bigoted, but but rather Trump, according to Biden, is an exactitude of himself. See, one is using one. When I mean one, I'm talking about Biden. One is using a smoke screen to deflect the issue of racism from himself by being the first to expose the other's dubious racial deeds, and that has given carte blanche to Biden and amongst others, specifically Democrats, to make to to make it pellucid, to make it pellucid. Again, my intention is merely to compare. No doubt about it. Biden and Trump are both tied to questionable events pertaining to Trump. In 1973, he he was sued for violating the Fair Housing Act. And additionally, again in 1980, an establishment of his was said to be guilty of discrimination. A former employee by the name of um, John O'Donnell um, declared when Trump and his wife came to the casino, black workers had to go in the back off the fucking floor. Now, we I mean, we all know about 1989 and the Central Park Five death penalty proposal, ballyhoo, if you ask me. So it's no need to even really go into detail about that. Furthermore, in 1991, Trump vehemently opposed having a black accountant. See, he opined. He would opine that a black man counting his money is unacceptable to him, and he hated that shit. Therefore, thereafter, I mean, sorry, excuse me. Thereafter, he stated the only kind of people he he want counting his money are short guys with yarmulkes, basically Jews. Um, and and in a 1997 Playboy interview, Trump exclaimed that whatever John O'Donnell said about him is probably true because he was an employee of his. Now in '92, the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino had to pay a $200,000 fine because it transferred black and female dealers off off tables to accommodate a big time gambler's prejudices. Moreover, in 2004, Trump fired Kevin Allen, a black contestant on his television show for being overeducated. The Negro was too smart for, according to him. Unlike others, I don't believe the actions now of Trump between 2005 to 2011 are necessarily racist, but rather uh, xenophobic. Hell, I don't have a qualm with a POTUS being a nationalist. Every government in every country is xenophobic. Oh, sorry. Okay, I lied. Except France maybe, who has a history of being xenophilic, and of course America during the Obama administration. Throwing the word xenophobic around as something tantamount to racism is a knock on America's educational system. Thus, if xenophobia wasn't something that all governments practice, to an extent, there would not be I believe it's 77 border walls around the world. I'm pretty sure it's 77 border walls. Matter of fact, I know it. But anyway, now calling now calling to the proverbial carpet. A man who's who's been given total immunity with undying forgiveness to run legislative roughshod on the black community. Yes, folks, that man is a one Joe Biden. Oh yes, Joe Biden. Now, remember, for argument's sake, I'm agreeing with you. Trump is indeed the first racist president. I said, well, I already told you for argument's sake, I'm agreeing. So, okay. Now then, explain to me what Andrew Johnson, Woodrow Wilson, and Bill Clinton were. And if the parties did switch positions in the 60s, like everybody say, then you still would have to explain Bill Clinton. You just got to. And likewise, you would have to make clear of Joe Biden's positions. I mean, shit, if the parties did fucking switch, if they did switch during the 60s, why was Joe working to keep segregation in Delaware 10 years after the fantasy party switch? How come? Now, now, in the mid 70s, Biden Biden was a leading senator against busing and worked with segregationists, notwithstanding political parties, to mitigate busing. And the Evans v. Buchanan case made his stance harsher. See, Biden supported a measure Senator Robert Byrd sponsored that forbade the use of federal funds to transport students beyond their closest schools. Hey, hey, also, this shit tastes good. Even the goddamn dry, even the dry inhale tastes good. But anyway, he was a proponent of Bird's measure because the gerrymandering that happened in Delaware would place minorities in the district away from whites, which essentially would keep minorities in their own schools. You know, this is this de jure segregation may have worked if the U.S. District Court did not uphold the Scottish opinion on Brown v. Board of Education. And speaking of that, one case that was important to Delaware was the Milford 11 case, which was mixed into there. But anyway, however, since since that measure was deemed to violate the Civil Rights Act and the Fifth Amendment in 1978, Biden would get help and support from none other than James Eastland, a known racist and segregationist, to author another anti-busing measure. Now, how could Biden convince the public that he's not racist when he he was mentored by James Eastland, a man who declared all whites are created, and this is just what he said now, all whites are created equal with certain rights. Among those rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of dead niggas. Now this is what the guy said. Now, how the hell can Biden not be racist if he falls in line with him? But furthermore, goddammit, furthermore, in 1987, during his first presidential campaign, Biden, this schmuck, uh, in Alabama, claimed, which is probably okay, it's probably not true, knowing this guy, but he claimed that he he been a recipient of an award given to him by George Wallace in 1973, and then boasted that Delaware was on the South Side in the Civil War. Now, I said it It may not be true because he never affirmed nor denied it. However, he did opine. Now this one is true. Now he did opine that that the Democratic Party needs a liberal like Wallace. You know, Mr. Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever, blah blah blah. You know the shit. Moreover, admittingly, during the late 1960s, 1980s, violent crimes were on the rise. Now, I'm not gonna lie, because this could have given some verisimilitude to Biden's fervent crusade of legislative decrees to quell violent crime. However, upon further look, it becomes axiomatic that the uptick in black incarceration was his intention all along. Hell, he had tried to pass a litany of crime bills over the years. And in 1980, I believe it was 86, could be 85 to 86, whatever. But with his co-sponsor Bob Dole, Biden successfully authored the Anti-Drug Abuse Act that created a big sentencing disparity between crack and powder cocaine, knowing that crack was mainly sold and used by black people. That's what happened. And in 1988, Biden would update that bill, which would further strengthen the prison sentences for drug possession and enhance penalties for transporting drugs. Additionally, shit smell good. Additionally, Biden would then work tirelessly with another known racist and segregationist and co-author of the Southern Manifesto, a one strong Thurmond, on the Biden-Thurmond Violent Crime Control Act of '91, which which it passed the Senate, but it died in the House. However, during the Clinton regime, the with minor changes, both chambers of Congress passed the act and was signed into law by Bill Clinton as the 1994 crime bill, as everybody knows it, but nobody even talks about that. It was first called the the Biden-Thurmond Act, but whatever. That passed with which phraseologies were identical to its predecessor, the Biden-Thurmond Violent Crime Control Act of '91, but whatever. And in '93, a year before Clinton enacted the bill as law, Joe Biden defended an amendment authored by Jesse Helms, another segregationist, racist, and supporter of the Southern Manifesto, that would extend the patent of the insignia of the daughters, the United Daughters of the Confederacy, UDC, which with an impassioned speech on the Senate floor, he concluded that the UDC is a group of fine people. Don't that ring a bell? Yet this guy's upset that Trump said both sides had a group of fine people, but he said these people were a group of fine people. Nah, the UDC is a group of fine people. That's what he said. Now, it would be slip short of me to not mention the beliefs that makes them, according to Biden, such fine people. There it goes. The UDC The UDC, these bitches are are a neo-Confederate group that teams up and mentors other Anglo hate groups and extremists. Also, they're linked to the Ku Klux Klan, whom they praise and romanticize as heroes of the Southern way of life. That's what these bitches said. Additionally, they have once successfully lobbied Southern states to teach history through the lost cause lens that villainizes the Union and depicts the CSA as victims and heroes. The lost cause teaches elementary grades that the slaves, or what also was said in there, Texas is darkies were happy in bondage, but once these Negroes were set free, became savages that yearned and despoiled Southern white women. Also, I mean this shit is crazy, folks. But also, the UDC still aligns itself with the Democratic Party. Now, leapfrogging to 2008, Biden seemed proud of the 1994 law, even some of its tough on crime measures until recently. And his 2008 presidential campaign website, Biden's campaign called the 1994 law the Biden crime law, and and the website proudly touted a funding program in the law that encouraged states to effectively increase their prison sentences by paying them to build prisons, which of course is a is a I say is an explicit is a direct endorsement of more incarceration. I mean, goddamn it, that's just the truth. But you know that shit don't matter to most people. But now, not only did Biden politically align himself with racists and segregationists, he worked with them to pass bills and, like Trump said, questionable people were fine. Individuals, I mean, they're fine individuals. Shit, how could Trump be the only one to carry that appellation of racist? The case I've laid out exhibits events that took place after the political switch. Reminder: Biden became a senator in '73, and surely you have to agree, surely that was after the '60s shift, right? Additionally, if you agree that the party switch, wouldn't the UDC be Republicans and not linked to the Democrats right now? I mean, would Biden be comfortable making such racially tactless remarks? And would Biden speak so warmly of known racists like Wallace, Helms, Fulbright, Eastland, Talmadge, and Thurmond? Oh, let's not forget Byrd. Furthermore, would he have eulogized Byrd? Him, because you know him and Obama eulogized him. You did know that, right? Eventually. Oh, let me just digress. Let me go back. And he did say was the one to say first one to say nigger on TV. But additionally, will Biden fight to neglect the Brown v. Board of Education decision I mean, if the switch was veridical, why didn't all Dixiecrats and Democrats become Republican? How come? Lastly, why to this day, why to this day is the secret sundown town symbol the black donkey? You know, the Democratic symbol, just in black. Same symbol though. See, these are questions voters need to ask before hurling ad hominems at one whilst absolving the other. I mean, but therefore, in conclusion, goddamn it, I told you, Biden is the classic Jim Crow era Democrat. I mean, he is the wolf masquerading as a sheep, using phraseologies as an intellectual rope-a-dope to coax the public en masse to believe he, unlike Trump, is not a racist. Remember, both individuals have had and have bigoted predispositions. However, one's political career spanned some 40 plus years and would exercise his power to use prison as a de facto plantation, if you will. And also, he fought for de jure segregation. How could Biden not be a fucking bigot? How could you not concede that both are two racist wolves? A wolf knows a wolf. That's why Biden has such conviction when he calls Trump a wolf. I mean, when he calls Trump a racist. I mean, he knows himself and why. For this campaign, his modus operandi is the prisoner's dilemma. You know, I was listening to a debate the other day about Trump and Biden, and one female said something that I agree with. You know, measuring Trump's racism is based on his actions, right? And like before, for argument's sake, I agree. So now, remember, actions measure your racism. That's what she said. Therefore, we must reach a mutual concession that the actions of Biden also makes him a racist. Thus, if you if you cannot concede, you're too biased to take seriously. Now, that 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 that's all I have to say about that. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell while you're at it. That's it. That's all, folks.